As leaders from across the globe gather for the G20 summit, some big deals and projects are expected to be announced. In the latest, leaders of the United States, Saudi Arabia, the UAE and India are likely to announce a major joint infrastructure deal on the summit sidelines. According to reports by Axios, the project is expected to connect Arab countries in the Levant and the Gulf via a network of railways that will also connect to India through seaports in the Gulf. The deal is one of the key initiatives that the White House is trying to push to counter China's growing influence through the Belt and Road Initiative. If successful, the deal would also be President Biden's push towards a mega deal with Saudi Arabia before his 2024 presidential re-election campaign. Furthermore, this deal could also include normalization agreements between the kingdom and Israel. You see, if normalization between the two is realized, Israel could also be a part of the railway project. This would enable the country to broaden its reach to Europe via Israeli seaports. Now, according to reports, the White House and Indian and Saudi embassies in Washington have so far declined to comment. However, this is what the United States National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said when he was asked about the deal.
That we have invested effort into with our partners. We believe that connectivity from India across the Middle East to Europe is incredibly important and will bring a significant number of economic benefits as well as strategic benefits to all of the countries involved. But where things land with respect to any potential announcements this weekend as opposed to down the line, I can't say tonight.
According to Axios, the new initiative came up during talks that were held over the last 18 months in another forum called the I2U2. The forum includes the US, Israel, the UAE and India. And now to talk about this and more, my colleague Bhairavi Singh is joining us live again on this broadcast. She is at the G20 venue. Bhairavi, tell us about this major infrastructure deal that is expected.
Yeah, Priyanka, this is really a major push by America and its allies to really wean away influence from China. Now, this has been done in, keeping in mind China. America has been really upset with China's moves with Saudi Arabia, brokering a deal with Iran. The fact that, there was also talks that China may be the one brokering another deal with Saudi and Israel, where America stepped in. So these things are being done, keeping that in mind. Remember also, just before this visit, Biden has asked the U.S. Congress for a $3.3 billion new funding to be made available to World Bank, to what he says to wean away, all of the developing world from the coercive lending habits of China. So if this deal comes through, it's a major infrastructure bid. This is to, of course, connect the Middle East. But what we're also hearing is that through Saudi Arabia, UAE, India and the US, it will all go all the way up to Middle East and then to Israel. If those talks with Israel are also finalized between Saudi Arabia, subject to the concessions that Israel makes on Palestine.
Absolutely. Bhairavi, just to follow up, just yesterday we reported how Italy had decided to exit the BRI, the Belt and Road Initiative. Over the years, there's been a lot of criticism on China for its debt trap diplomacy. That's the term I'd like to use. And now Prime Minister Modi at the ASEAN summit that just concluded also discussed India's own 12-point infrastructure plan. Now there is quite a lot of conversation about this expected infrastructure deal. So how is all this going to shape up? And what will China have to say on the matter?
Right. The West has always seen India as a counterpoint to China. That's a fact we all know. The fact that neighbors in South Asia itself have time and again called out China's debt diplomacy, whether it is Sri Lanka or Nepal. Nepal also was very upset just a few months ago with some of the projects regarding China. So it's a known factor that the BRI has not taken off. It's an ambitious project of Xi Jinping, but it hasn't seen the impact on the ground as China had hoped for. Clearly, Italy was the only G7 member that had accepted the BRI and come on board with the Belt and Road Initiative. That they're now not sure about, with the minister, one of the ministers in the Italy government even going on to say it was a wicked act.
Right.
We sold some oranges or fruits to China, and what they did was to triple the amount of trade that they were doing with the Italian side. So clearly, this is, of course, in many ways to counter China's influence, and as to that, the West has always looked at India.
Bhairavi, thanks for those updates. We'll get back to you for more. WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.